this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Frontify Workspace, which is a collaboration platform for design iterations and to give feedback or approvals. For that purpose, you can also build your custom workflows, and last but not least, you can do some prototyping, which I will show you later in the video. So let's jump right into it. As you can see, I'm in my brand, and I've actually switched over to the projects tab, in which I already have this project right here that's created, and now I'm going to go ahead and create a new one. For that, I just click on the new button, create a project. First, we'll give it a name. So let's say we're working on a website redesign. This will then automatically be based on your style guide. If you have several style guides, you could choose which one, and it'll automatically be assigned the default workflow. Again, you can set up your own custom workflows, and then you could also choose one of those. So let's go ahead and create this project. All right, so there it is. And first off, let's invite someone else to this project. As you know from the style guide, I've got that option over here in my power bar. I can then go in and invite, say, my colleague Gabriela. I can assign her a role. In this case, I'm going to make her an editor. She'll also automatically get view access to the style guide, and I can invite her. Okay, that's done. All right, then next off, let's set up the workflow. So we have our default workflow in here, and I can start changing a couple of the things in here. So for example, this in progress status will actually give this a new name, and that's going to be initial review. Okay, save that. And what we want is that the initial review, this status will actually be assigned to Gabriela. She'll be the owner. And we can also create some tasks for her. So maybe in the initial review, we want her to check colors, we want her to check fonts, and we want her to check layout. Okay, all of the tasks are created. And again, we'll assign them specifically to her. Okay, then next off, next status, we're gonna create one that is the final review. There we go. What I want to happen on this status is that people actually need to leave a comment if they move an asset into this. So I'll toggle that on, and let's assign that as well. Okay, the approved status, we can see this actually is set as being the one that is approved, and we can also give it a different name. So maybe we'll call this ready for next steps. Okay, that's set. And then let's just go ahead and create a new status, and we'll call that archived in case we have assets that we want to archive. And what we can also do is change the color of this. Let's go with a simple black. Okay, done. So now if I wanted to, I could save this as a template and reuse it for other projects, or I can just close and then it'll only be applied to this specific project. A couple of other settings that we have available are notifications. So you see there's a few different things that I'm being notified about right now. I can go in here and I can maybe toggle this off. I don't want to be notified about new screens. Everything else I'll keep on. And what I could also set up is our Slack integration, so you could actually be notified through Slack, or otherwise you can just be notified through email. Okay, now that that's all set up, let's start by maybe creating a couple of folders, giving this project a bit of a structure. Maybe first off, briefing. This is where all the information about the project goes. Okay, so this is where people can find some information. Give this folder a color and create it. And then one more that we want to create is the archive that we obviously mentioned before. This is where outdated assets go for, let's just say for reference. So if I have assets that aren't used anymore, but I still want them to be around for people to have a look at, and then we'll give it the status archived. So as soon as any assets are moved into this folder, they'll get this status archived. Okay, now that we've set up our folders, we can go ahead and upload some assets and start working. I can either do that through new and the file upload button, or I can also drag and drop. So let's say I'm going to go in here, and actually this asset, I just grab it, I drag it, and I drop it in here. You can see the upload is being tracked at the bottom, and there it is. So let's give this a status. This is going to go into initial review by Gabriela. Also, if you want to have an overview of the different assets and their statuses, you can jump into the Kanban board by clicking workflow on the left-hand side here. You can now see, obviously, we just have this one asset. The tasks that we have assigned, we can see 0 out of 3 have been completed, but then Gabriela, once she's done them, can come in here, check all of them, and then they'll get the 3 out of 3 here. And if she's ready to move it on to the next status, she can also just grab it, drag and drop. Here we saw that we set up that this status actually needs a comment if we want to move something into it. So let's just say all tasks completed. There we go. This is ready. All tasks completed. I save that. You can see there's 0 out of 0 tasks on this status. And what I can also do is select watch status right here. What will happen now is that I get notified every time something's moved into the status. Okay, that much about assets and their statuses. Let's maybe jump into the feedback functionality next. What I can do here, if I jump into the asset, is also look at it in a different zoom level so I get a better overview of it. Also, on the left-hand side here, I have the option of looking at the metadata of this specific asset, and then I can jump into the feedback section. So let's say we're Gabriela, we're doing the initial review, we're looking at colors, and we see, okay, this white at the top right here, that's not really a good idea. It's a pretty light background, so I actually want that to change. We can highlight this specific area and then mention someone and say, please change to monobrand black. Create this comment. Now that I've been mentioned, I will get notified. I will see, there's a comment for me. I need to come in and change something. So what I can then do is jump into the revision section here, and I get the option of uploading a revision. You can also use our Sketch integration to push changes directly from Sketch into the workspace. But for more information on that, refer to the help articles and videos specifically about the Sketch integration. In this video, I'm just going to go ahead and use the upload revision button here and upload an external asset. And again, we'll wait for that to be uploaded. Give it a couple of seconds. Okay, there it is. We have the second asset in here now. You can see it's just a revision, new version of it. I have full version control. I can always go back and look at all the different versions that are available. And if I jump back into the feedback section, so now I have uploaded the revision. I see this area that is marked to be changed to black has been changed. And then I can go into the comment and I can actually remark this as resolved. It's not fully gone. We actually have a resolved comment pipeline, so you can still look at all the comments that have been made in the past. You can look at all the versions, so you have full control. But now, up to date, it's been updated. It's all good. So now if we were ready to move this along to the next status, we could go in here and move it along. Obviously now it's already in final review because that's where we moved it to earlier. Okay, maybe a few other things. You also have the option of turning an asset if you want to look at it, if you needed to flip it, and that way really work through it. Also, you have not just comments but also requests up here. I can actually also request approval or feedback from someone. So for example, if we went into this approval, I could describe what I wanted people to check. I could also, if I invite more people, select several people that need to approve this asset, and I can say that upon approval, a status should be set. And this is where earlier we set up which status is the approved status. Once all of the people have given their approval, it'll automatically be moved to that status. And again, I also have the option of requesting feedback or an emotion from people. And this I can also give them a due date until when they need to have completed that task. All right. So maybe if I jump back to this, we can now look at how to prototype with our workspace. For that, I'm going to upload a few more assets. So yeah, this one I want. these two. Just open these, just wait for this to upload. Okay, we can then also move things around if we wanted to. So maybe I actually, there we go, want this one to be in third position. Okay, I could also again start by giving them statuses and everything, but let's jump right into the prototyping. Again, on the power bar, I have my prototyping option. Can also again zoom out a bit, and maybe let's start by saying, okay, we want to fix the header for this asset, the logo and the header up here we want fixed. Then we can create a clickable area. Maybe we're gonna mark this read the story. We have obviously different triggers that we can use. I'll list them. For now, we're just gonna go with click. And we want that to then jump to another screen, which is going to be this blog post screen. And we create that. And then also if I go to the bottom, maybe in the footer, we're going to have one clickable area that's going to be the same on several screens. So again, this is going to be clickable. I could also leave a description for it. And now I want to say, okay, this should be included as a template. And I go on there and I need to create a new template. We're just going to call it shop, which is what it is. And then create that. And now where should it jump to? This should also go to another screen. It should be this screen. And we also want this to be relative to the bottom of the screen. So it's always going to be in the same position. Turn that on and create this. So now you can see this template is actually marked green. The normal clickable area is just blue. Okay, so let's jump to the next screen. Here again, we want to fix the header. It's going to remember the position from the last screen, so be in the same place. And now let's turn on this shop template, and you see this exact same clickable area that we had before appears in the same location. So I don't need to create it a second time. And then we have a different one, also again a click, and this is gonna bring us to that next screen, create this. Okay, move on to another screen. Here we're again gonna fix the header. Now we need to slightly reposition it for this screen. And here we are actually in the shop. So I don't want to turn on the template, but I still want this to be clickable, and I'm going to create a new version of it. And it's going to be slightly different in the sense of, instead of jumping to a screen, because that's already the screen we're on, we're actually going to use the anchor. So I can set an anchor, which will then jump to a specific location on this screen. So if you click shop on this screen, I want it to jump to this location, and I can create this. And then also another clickable area to jump to another screen. This hat right here, we want to jump to this screen. Obviously, I could also use an external URL during this prototyping that I want to jump to, but now we're just going to stick to screens. Okay, create that. And then we have the last screen. Fix the header. Again, it remembers position from the last one. So here I don't need to move anything. And let's turn on this shop clickable area. Okay, so that's it. And now to check out what we've done, we can actually switch over to the view mode, and then we can take a look at it. If I start scrolling, you can see the fixed header that I've created. And then, as you probably also know from other tools, if you click anywhere on the screen, the clickable areas will light up. So now I can maybe check out this read the story one. Perfect. It brings me to the next screen that I've created. Again, here we have a fixed header. And also here we have another clickable area, which will move us on. Same thing here with the fixed header. This is obviously where we've created an interaction down here in terms of the anchor. So let's click on that. Perfect. It'll bring us back up to where we've created the anchor, and clickable area on the hat. And then the last screen, again with the fixed header. And now the one that I haven't shown to you yet is obviously the clickable area at the bottom, which is this template that I've created. And just to prove to you that this also works, I click on it. I come to the screen that I have created. So that works perfectly. Again, you can also obviously use different triggers such as hovering or whatever you want. Here we just went with easy ones, are always clicking. Also quite handy, you have the share functionality up here. You can create a link to either share just the screen, so people who don't have a Frontify login can actually use this link to see just this specific asset, or you can also share the entire prototype with people that don't have a Frontify login, again, just through this link, if you want to share it with someone to have a quick look at it. All right, That's it. I hope you have fun working with our workspace, and thanks for watching.